Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. Hope you're doing well today. It's always good to spend time with you as we reflect upon God's goodness and God's mercy. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's examination of Love Divine, All Love's Excelling, one of my favorite hymns. And like I said, I'm working hard this week not to just pick out Charles Wesley hymns, because that's what I would default to doing. One of my favorite things about ministry is I love, if only you could be a fly on the wall when me and Tim take time to pick out our hymns together, because me and Tim one day we joke about writing our own hymnal. It's just going to be the perfect hymnal because we kind of like the same songs. We would sing Fannie J. Crosby all the time. We just love her songs. We both love Wesley, but there are some songs that Tim really likes that I don't like. And likewise, there's some songs that I really like that Tim doesn't like. And it's usually over little things like language and words that are used and things like that. So we have a running joke where I'll suggest a hymn and he'll grimace, and he'll suggest a hymn and I'll grimace, and we do it just to kind of mess with each other. So if you could really ever be in a room where me and Tim pick out hymns, trust me, you would have a good time. But just wait until me and Tim make our own hymnal. It's gonna be a pretty awesome hymnal. So today I wanted to talk about a hymn that I love, that I don't think my friend Tim Rigby is as big a fan of it as I am. And there are some hymns like A Wonderful Words of Life that he loves that I'm not quite as big a fan about, and I'm not going to name some other hymns that I'm not big fans of because I love all of you and I don't want you to hate me. So, but we're going to talk today about hymn number 110 in our Methodist hymnal. It's entitled "A Mighty Fortress Is Our God." Yesterday we talked about a hymn written by Charles Wesley. Today we're going to talk about a hymn written by Martin Luther. Martin Luther was the leader or the first beginner of the Protestant Reformation, and this is a hymn that he wrote as he reformed the church, or rather as he protested and started the Lutheran Church, or started a church that became known as the Lutheran Church. But this, to me, I'm not going to say it's the perfect hymn, but it's pretty good. This hymn is pretty good. And this is one of those hymns, I joked yesterday about hymns having third verses that we never sing. A Mighty Fortress, really, you need to sing all the verses because it does something beautiful and powerful. So I want to read to you. Once again, I'll have the link to this hymn in the description below. But I want to read to you the words of A Mighty Fortress Is Our God. A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing. Our helper, he amid the flood of mortal ills prevailing. For still our ancient foe doth seek to work us woe. His craft and power are great, and armed with cruel hate. On earth is not his equal. I'm going to keep reading because I want you to hear this all together. Do we in our own strength confide, our striving would be losing. We're not the right man on our side, the man of God's own choosing. Doth ask who that may be, Christ Jesus it is he. Lord Sabbath his name, from age to age the same. And he must win the battle. And though this world a devil's field should threaten to undo us, we will not fear, for God has willed his truth to triumph through us. The prince of darkness grim, we tremble not for him. His rage we can endure, for lo, his doom is sure, when little world shall fail him. That word above all earthly powers, no thanks to them abideth. The spirit and the gifts are ours, through him who with us sideth. Let goods and kindred go, this mortal life also. The body they may kill, God's truth abideth still, his kingdom is forever. This is really a song of spiritual warfare. This is a song that talks about evil in the world and how evil is defeated. So, a mighty fortress is our God. Remember, Luther wrote this in 329, medieval period. Europe was full of fortresses and castles. A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark. A bulwark is a big wall. A bulwark never failing. God is a fortress who never fails. Our helper, he amid the flood of mortal ills prevailing. Here Satan enters in though. For still our ancient foe doth seek to work us woe. His craft and power are great, and armed with cruel hate, on earth is not his equal. So we see that the devil opposes God and opposes God's people. And he is armed with cruel hate. And there's no one on earth who is his equal. So we would, if we stand up against this power of evil, we will be defeated. Because there's no one on earth who is his equal. In fact, so verse 2 begins, do we in our own strength confide, our striving would be losing. So if we were up to our own strength, we would lose against this power of evil. We're not the right man on our side, the right man of God's own choosing. In other words, we have someone on our side. Who is this person? You'll see in a second. That this man of God's own choosing, who will defeat the powers of evil. doth ask who that may be. In other words, who is this person who is on our side who will defeat evil? Christ Jesus, it is he. Lord Sabbath, it is his name from age to age, and he will win the battle. Lord Sabbath, our Sabbath rest. He is the Lord of the Sabbath. He is another, remember yesterday we talked a little about rest? Here we see another reference to rest with Sabbath. Lord Sabbath, his name. He is God's Sabbath for us. He is our rest and our recovery and our safety and our strength and our provision. Lord Sabbath, our provision and our care. And though this world with devils filled should threaten to undo us. In other words, there is, yes, we have the right man on our side. We have Jesus standing for us. But this world's full of devils that threaten to undo us. We will not fear, though, for God has willed his truth to triumph through us. In other words, this world's full of evil, full of devils, full of struggles and trials. But we will not fear because the right man's on our side. We will. The prince of darkness is grim, but we tremble not for him. His rage we can endure, for lo, his doom is sure. One little world shall fail him. So in other words, we see that the evil seems strong and great. The prince of darkness is huge, but we don't tremble, though. We can endure his rage. His doom is sure. Evil will not win. Do you see how important it is to sing these songs and really hear them? How would our life be different if we really believed that the prince of darkness is grim, but we tremble not for him? His rage we can endure, for lo, his doom is sure. When little words shall fail him. How different would our lives be if we really truly clung to that promise that we don't have to be afraid of this evil one or the devils, this world with devils filled? How would we live differently? How would we love differently? How would we care differently? How would we serve differently if we truly understood that we don't have to be afraid of this evil like that? Well, this one word shall fail him. That word above all earthly powers, no thank to them abideth. By the way, Jesus Christ is the Word. He is the Logos of God, as John 1 tells us. The Spirit and the gifts are ours through him who with us sideth. In other words, this power of God. We have this gift of the Spirit. We have the gifts of God's grace. God's on our side. So let goods and kindreds go. This mortal life also. The body they may kill, but God's truth then bideth still. His kingdom is forever. What can they do to our body? What can they do to us? We don't have to be afraid, because we have the Word with us, the Logos, Jesus Christ, God's very Son, who sideth with us. We don't have to fear evil. Why? We go back to the beginning. A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing. This is such an encouraging song to me, because it shows that yes, as Christians, we're going to face evil. This world's full of devils. This world's full of struggles and trials and worries and fears. We tremble not for them, though, because the right man's on our side. The man of God's own choosing. Lord Sabbath, his name, from age to age the same. So don't be afraid. Don't be scared. We have a fortress. We have a wall. We have a protector. We have a defender. Don't be afraid. I know this world's full of fear right now, full of hatred, and full of all this stuff. Don't give in to it. We don't have to. We have the right man on our side. We have the man of God's own choosing. Lord Sabbath is his name. Don't be afraid. So this is a great hymn of encouragement to me. A Mighty Fortress has always been a great song of encouragement to me, and I hope it is for you. So I would encourage you to read through it. Like I said, it's hymn number 110 on our hymnal. Like I said, there'll be a link to it beneath in the comments. You can check that out. Find some nice arrangements of it. I think you'll be encouraged by that. But that's A Mighty Fortress is our God. Join us back tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about another hymn of our faith and how it can encourage us and strengthen us in this time. Love you guys. See you tomorrow morning.